Okay, with Hell in a Cell, the E continued their idea that Raw always has to be over 3 hours. This is a 3 hour 20 pay-per-view, not including the kickoff show, which I will say the 6-man match they did, the cruiserweight match. Good way to pop the crowd. Nice, exciting. Everyone got to get some nice moves in. I love the selling of Gulag when he took the lumbar check. Looked like he was severely hurt. Oversold it, like he zigglered it a little bit, but then when he actually while he's being pinned, he's wrenching his back and he's in pain. I dug it. Thought that was nice. Good opener. Opening contest. Roman Reigns Rusev. This is your Haas beatdown match. Roman Reigns stuck in the ropes, beaten with a kendo stick. He gets run face first into steel steps multiple times. He's getting beaten down with a chain. Takes an accolade on top of the chairs with the chain in his mouth. Looked wicked. I was like, man. If one had to go using a blood pack, if he had the blood coming out of his mouth, and that could have been the finish of your match right there. It would have been a callback to the Austin, Bret Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin match from WrestleMania, where it was Austin knocking up blood pouring from his mouth. This could have been internal injury. Roman Reigns with a chain in his mouth and the accolade with Rusev just looking defiant and impressive on top of him. But instead, we get the out of nowhere spear 1, 2, 3. Great match. Like the way it was flowing. I do think that Roman Reigns works well in a PG era cell because he can do the brutality part and it looks well and it looks good. And plus he's wearing the body armor, so it protects him a little bit. But the problem is that ending was just and spear. Dang it. Because here's how I would have booked it differently. This takes this person Royal Rumble. I would have had that part where it's the chain in the mouth. Reigns doesn't give up. He just passes out from it with a blood pack or something the blood coming out of his mouth from internal injuries. Really sell that he's just this, defiant. I'm not going to give up BA, but just his body gave out on him. It's a great story. Then you go to the Survivor Series. You've got Foley who's like, I need you two guys on the team. Can you two guys coexist? And no. Whenever we're in the same place together, they blood feud beat on each other. Give them calm down a little bit enough to be in that match. Then they just start wailing. Double count out. Both of them are gone. That way then when Foley's team loses, they lose because 40% of his team just left. Work that into those two guys just beating each other up. I wouldn't have them have one-on-one matches. No. They're going to fight other people. But I want their match just almost constantly run by the other guy. Build it to a blood feud, then a Royal Rumble. You go, fine, y'all get titles on the line. You pick. Do you want an I Quit match? Do you want a last man standing match? And just have them beat each other down. Roman Reigns ends up being victorious. He's not in the Rumble, but he has this big, brutal beatdown match with Rusev. Rusev gets to look nice and strong going through it. Roman Reigns gets to look nice and strong because you then go from that match into Elimination Chamber into it's Royal Rumble. I think Raw gets Chamber. The Raw should get Roadblock and SmackDown should get Chamber. But there's another event between that and WrestleMania. And then you can decide, okay, is the crowd behind Roman Reigns enough to put him in a main event spot, or do you have him just defend the title at WrestleMania, push the primary coronation back another year? Let him build up some solid mid-card feuds. At the same time, you could have a cross-promotional match where John Cena takes on Roman Reigns, because if John Cena wins the U.S. title, he ties Ric Flair. But instead, Rusev won. It was solid match, but that ending was And then we get to our first cool down. Because after that match, you need a break, and it's Dana Bailey. Dana getting better. I still wish, had Emma not gotten injured, you have Emma versus Bailey and Dana as the one running her mouth inside the ring. Give Dana a little more time to get some more seasoning. We'd be set. But this match was a decent match. it was one of those where it's not going to help either person involved. But Bayley got the win, so she can, I guess, feud with the winner of the main event. The Kevin Owens, Rollins chain. Oh my goodness. This showed the Raw. Oh, I forgot. We had the Enzo Cass club match. I liked how they did this match. They did a nice promo beforehand, which got the crowd into it. Big Cass was able to just own the club by himself. Enzo gets tagged in. He's doing a pretty good job. Eats a cheap shot by Gallows. Tagging Ash, Magic Killer, 1, 2, 3. Worked. It showed that Enzo is the weaker member of the team, which he is. He's the face in peril for the hot tag, which is Big Cass. You know, I gave the club a win. It does not hurt Enzo and Big Cass at all. They could never win a pay-per-view match. They'd still be one of the most over tag teams ever. Ever. So we go into the Hell in a Cell match. This shows the raw, physical brilliance that is Seth Rollins. The sequence they do, oh god. They do like a roll through on Rollins. Rollins hits the Yakuza kick. And then as he, bounces back from it, eats a super kick from Owens. Hits like a Pele kick onto Owens. Owens bounces, hits the rope. Comes off with a wicked clothesline. It's an amazing sequence. Owens sets up a table on the outside of the ring. And then a table positioned at an angle from the apron into the Hell in a Cell. And it's like, oh, who's being powerbombed into that? Super buckle bomb through 2 tables outside the Hell in a Cell. What? They open the cell because they got to get all the table chunks out. Jericho beelines into it. It is now Jericho eating a running buckle bomb to the Hell in a Cell. Oh, this match was just brilliant. Then those two of them doing a 2-on-1 beatdown on Rollins. Finish, 2 chairs next to each other. Powerbomb through the chairs. 1, 2, 3. Rollins defeated. Brilliant match. Showed, again, great brutality for a PG Cell match. Showed how amazingly those 2 physical specimens are. Great match. Easily, at that point, it is the top Cell match. Just brilliantly done. Loved it. From seeing Rollins take the running cannonball outside into the cell, it was just... It showed these 2 guys hate each other. Would maybe like a Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn chain match would have been better? Yes, but this match was really good. Who's our cool-off? PJ Perkins and Brian Kendrick. I don't know why they put them next. Rollins does all the moves of a cruiserweight, and he has bigger power moves. And he's in the main event. You don't follow him up with the cruiserweights, who do similar moves to Seth Rollins, but are smaller. This match told the brilliance, I don't say brilliance a lot, of the Brian Kendrick when it comes to the psychology of a match. Great psychology for me, taking the tape off TJP's hands and taping him to the bottom rope, so he's got to, futz with that while getting beaten down on. It's good. It's some good, classic, smart, man, I'm too old for this sort of stuff. You're a faster guy. I'm going to mildly cheat to win. Reverse with slice spread number 2. Gets a leg injury. TJP's like, oh man. He's really hurt. Goes back up. Headbutt. Captain's hook. Oh, you go to tap? Belt changes hands. It's like, good. Nice feud extender there until... I think we've got a while until Grand Metalik shows back up. And I will say, I'm looking forward to seeing the matches between Grand Metalik Lince Dorado, Sin Cara, and Cedric Alexander. Just put those 4 guys in a match, make it a fatal 4-way. Next week, make it a 2-on-2. Give them both individual singles matches. Just that's a phenomenal 4-person group right there. Then you throw on Nice and Gulag, and even Daivari with Perkins and Kendrick. Soon they'll have Zach Gallagher. Man, that's gonna be a stacked division. High flyers, good mat workers. That's gonna be solid. It's gotta get a little bit longer out. They need like 2 matches to really get them going. They're currently stuck in, like pre-Divas Revolution Divas match where they give you one, maybe a match where you throw like all of you into it. But love the psychology of Dean Bryan Kendrick. TJP, read an amazing story about him on Twitter. He's actually outside, like the vestibule areas, talking with people in the arena, which is good. He's a true fan who wants to be out there and interact with the fans. I like it. It's good. That's not translating, probably because they don't really give him a lot of time to talk. He was the young, enthusiastic, naive guy. Alright, naive babyface. Roll with it. The New Day take on Cesaro and Sheamus. I just, when it's mentioned like, well, they're gonna break the record-setting title right? No. They've got to get past. If they get past 479, they're the longest reigning tag teams of all time. I picture them probably going to 480. I mean, they were at 420 a little while ago. So they're probably about almost probably 430 right now. They won't defend at Survivor Series. Probably won't defend. Well, they don't have a December pay-per-view because you've got TLC. So I don't know what pay-per-view they're going to have in December for them. So they've pretty much got to make till December pay-per-view, whether it's Armageddon or whatever. If they make it there, and they successfully defend, then it's just lose the Royal Rumble. That's it. They're record-setting champions. Sheamus and Cesaro get on the same page for a little bit, and soon as they're going to win. Kofi, who is not part of the tag, it's Woods and Big E. Hits Trouble in Paradise on Sheamus. Sheamus Cesaro win by DQ. Alright. Fine with that. Now to our main event, which again, they heavily laid Foley's words about this is going to destroy your lives. Charlotte comes down on a chariot, well, actually by a throne being carried by men. Liked it. Good. Sasha comes down about the same way she did in TakeOver Brooklyn. With an Escalade and an armed guard. Crowd hot for Sasha. But the thing I don't like is they have time to wait for the cell to lower. But Sasha gets hit before the cell comes down. They stop the cell lowering. Alright, everyone's like, great, we're going to see that off of the cell spot. Not really. Instead we see Charlotte powerbomb Sasha through the announce table. And the problem is when she hits, the table doesn't shatter, it does this, so she slides and like hits her head on the concrete. And then I was like, well, the match hasn't even gotten started yet. And they do a little Sasha's beat, then they do some fighting outside. Do some more beatdown by Charlotte. Sasha's on a stretcher. They're like, oh, I guess this match is going to start. Sasha gets up, like forget that, climbs in the ring, and our match begins. I was reading some of the things from cage side seats. Apparently people on Twitter were like, people actually leaving the arena. Not a lot, but you can tell whenever they cut back, that all of a sudden they're not showing the crowd that much. When they do, you see little pockets. Like people are leaving here and there. Not like droves of people, but people are, all of a sudden the ones that are, you see little like empty seats. All of a sudden. A lot more than just going to the bathroom. And I was like, okay, let's watch it. it's a good match. I do think that the announcers was how could she take, they constantly oversold, like, her back is destroyed. Oh, why do you keep on putting your body through this? It's like, wait a minute, you touch on that a little bit in the men's match. I just feel like they really, really oversold the amount of damage we're doing to their bodies. And it's like, you didn't sell it that much when it was the guys. When Reigns is getting beaten down on the back with a chain, you're like, that could break vertebrae, cracking ribs. But they weren't like, why don't you just give up now? Why don't you save your career? No, they don't. They don't have that sort of fear in their voices. They do work in a table in a pretty weak, like Sasha kicks Charlotte off the apron. She falls to the table a bit. I'm like, all right. You could tell that the crowd was hot for the match when it started. But then it kind of died quickly. Like after the beatdown and then the match has started. You could tell that the initial time kind of wore off. I'm like, all right, here we go. Solid match. They use a steel chair. Use a table a little bit. It had a nice little brutality to it, but it really felt like for this big historic moment that it should have had that, that one big moment where you're like, boom. This is the moment you show in every highlight package. WrestleMania, the triple threat match, it had that beautiful moonsault. The match I had a little while ago, it had that beautiful corkscrew moonsault from the top rope to the outside. This just felt like it was missing that one, and here's your moment that galvanizes the Hell in a Cell. When Foley fell off the top, you had when Shawn Michaels he fell from like the midway point through a table. Or when it was Ambrose Rollins, you had the midpoint fall off through a table. Shane McMahon jumped off the top of the cage through a table. Rikishi being chokeslammed off the cage into the bed of the truck with the hay everywhere. Everyone seemed to have that moment where you're like, that's it. That's this amazing moment that everyone pictures when they go, this Hell in a Cell, you picture this. It felt like it was missing that. It was a good match. One of my favorite spots of that whole match was there's a figure 8. Sasha grabbed a chair and begins beating Charlotte with the chair. And I was like, here we go. Here we go. Beat her with a chair. Here we go. Good, let's do this. But Sasha threw into the table a couple of times, didn't break the table. Eats natural selection. 1, 2, 3. Charlotte beats Sasha Banks in her hometown. By this time, the crowd is deflated. And I was like, you had a lot of goodwill. You just couldn't structure the match accordingly. So, good match, historic match, but with how much they almost overly pushed and hyped this too much. Out of the 3 cell matches, looking at just the match themselves and removing all the build-up, I would say it was the 3rd highest sell. Adding in the build-up, it had the best build-up of all 3 of them. Adding in the build-up, I'd probably say it still fell behind what they did in the Owens, Owens, Jericho, Rollins one. Because that buckle bomb through the 2 tables is just... that is a cringe-inducing spot.